time it is!
Thank you all for checking out the C Squared Hour. I'm your host, Chris, bringing you another episode. Like I said, I'm going to stop underselling and overselling. I'm just going to tell you it's another episode. I know, once again, I might be a little late with this. Getting caught up in hockey playoffs. I started my new tradition on Twitter. If you don't follow me, you probably should. You can see what it is. After game 1, the universe must have gotten just as annoyed as I did with having to do that whole thing. But of course, I, being the, I guess not professional, being the person that I am who is in debt for doing this, I was not going to rest until my tradition takes off. But since that game 1, I haven't had a chance to do it. So go check out my Twitter and you shall see exactly what I'm talking about. My longtime listeners, you're going to be asking, where is the other Chris? Chris always kind of avoided social media for a long while. He didn't like the whole the whole system, the whole thing, but with all his other endeavors, he's jumped on it. And what he's noticed is he looks through all these community things and all these neighborhood deals, and he sees there are many places across the country where city and state parks will ask for or accept citizen volunteer work to, plant more trees or help rake the flower beds or whatever. He looks at these places, these city, state. Not sure if he's gone national yet. I'm not sure if he's gone there. Think globally, act locally, that sort of thing. He has begun picketing and protesting these parks, these locations. Because and this is Chris, I need to get better at that, using names rather than just he, because then you forget who the fuck I'm talking about, right? Chris is protesting these locations for the fact that citizens should not be doing this work. First of all, there's a whole public safety issue if you have volunteers just helping out with gardening equipment and all this. You see saws out there, you see ladders. A lot of risk there. And he's worried that obviously if they were asked to volunteer there, it's gonna hit his pocketbook too. So, oh great, another fucking reason to have the fucking election maps. Why are we still calling it Trump's? Anyway, I digress. I have the news on in the background, and if any of my longtime listeners know that if you think I'm crazy and scatterbrained, I guess is the term. It sounds really gay, but whatever. If you think I'm bad, you should see me with nothing going on in the background. But I'm trying here. So Chris, seeing how dangerous these potential projects could be, that's number one. His problem is the safety, because obviously you're going to have your kids out there. It's a park. They're going to run around while you're messing with saws and hammers and ladders and shit like that. He's worried about the children's safety. But what he's protesting, what he's making sure that the message he's trying to get out there, because no one gives a shit till it hits their pocketbook, right? The whole recycling thing. He is protesting because he feels that if they're volunteering and they're doing all this work for free. Whatever was budgeted for the parks, whatever they would have paid for that, should go back to the taxpayers. Most specifically him, but again, that's, think globally, act locally. If they hand him, $20, then he says, hey, look, here's the precedent. I'm gonna spread this all over the country. So if the $20 goes to him, don't worry. Do not worry. It's gonna work out for everybody. If you want to help him out, go to your local park where you see citizens doing volunteer work and just let them know. Don't be mean about it. Don't be an asshole. Just say, hey, there's taxes you paid for this to happen. And if someone gets hurt doing these projects, your tax dollars might go up because the city's going to have to pay for it. The state's going to have to pay for it. That would help him out a lot. I sure hope that was easy to follow. Because I'm not sure if I fucking followed it. By the way, just to warn you, you may hear some weird background noises. I could only find my giant Craftsman bottle opener for tonight. So I have to use that. This fucking thing's probably about 5 pounds. Because, if you're going to be drinking and opening bottles all night, what you want is something that can be used as a weapon as well. Craftsman bottle opener. You can fucking kill somebody with this thing. What other Oh, that reminds me. It doesn't remind me. I just saw it on my notes. I'm not going to say this person by name. Most people might not even know who the fuck I'm talking about. But this person has talked about wanting to do something in the podcast realm, in the media form. He's been mentioning that time and time again. And my limited expertise, my very small amount of shit that I know, I've been trying to mentor him. Again, I don't know enough to be a great mentor, so there's that. But I'm offering to give him shit that I have, running a book. In fairness, the first book he may not have got because I gave it to this nutty blonde bitch, and so who knows where the fuck it ended up. But I've offered to help. I'm still offering to help. I jump on my social media platforms that I currently use, and I see this gentleman has a new picture up. Good for him. Here's the issue. He is showing off a t-shirt he just purchased. Again, good for him. Show off all the clothing you want. But what I noticed that it is a t-shirt from a YouTuber who is already a multi-millionaire. Cool. Never met the fucking guy. Probably never been in the same fucking room with the guy. And you're buying his merch when a guy who's offering to help you out with this, a guy who is willing and is actually the one reaching out to you most times. Reaching out to you to offer advice, to offer stuff that could help out with this. You can't go and buy one of my shirts, you jackass. I'm doing everything I can to help you. And you're buying shit from people who don't need the fucking money. It's like, oh yeah, great, I just bought motherfucker, I got a store. Buy for me. Thought I was going to be a little more angry about that. But no, you know what? I don't get angry often. I get extremely annoyed. When I get angry, things get broken. So I get extremely annoyed. And if you ever wonder why you hear a snap in the middle of an episode and then it picks up again, it's because I had to buy a new computer because I did get angry. But Christ, man, I'm trying to help you, and you can't help a brother out. It's more important that you show off that, hey, I watch this YouTuber that everyone else fucking watches. You can't wear a fucking walking advertisement for me. They're not fucking bad. Look at the website. They're fine. A lot of people say they are great designs. Other people say they're passable. I'm one of those people. But help a brother out. That's all I ask. I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to motivate you. And what the fuck do? You spend your $20 on someone else. Well, fuck you. That obviously leads me right into my next point, Randy. Let's lace them up, homeboy. I'm still sitting here waiting. I got gyms on the line. I got promoters on the line. They're twiddling their thumbs too. I know you tried to run away. Well, you did run away. You did. You were hoping that you running away was going to stop all this. I'm sorry, bud. It's not. You know why? Because I care about whatever charity. It might be myself, but I care about whoever's getting the fucking money from this fight more than I care about you trying to duck me. I care too much to let you running away stop me from this. The offer stands. Everyone, especially because for some reason I have a lot of listeners in Washington, D.C. and Columbus, Ohio. Shout out D.C., shout out Columbus. Go. God, who am I a fan of in D.C.? I'm not. I'm also not a fan of anyone in Columbus, so I apologize, but hey, shout out D.C., shout out Columbus. If you're hearing it from there, hit me up. You know, my DMs are wide open, or you can comment on shit. I just got a comment from some random marketing thing that wants to do me a favor that's probably gonna cost everything for the fight is taken care of. The hard part is taken care of. Call me. Actually, don't call me De La Hoya, because those leaked lingerie pictures were rough. Eddie Hearn, god damn it. There are no boxing promoters that I want to be compared to. Shit. You definitely don't want to be compared to Dana White. So, anyway, call me the promoter. I have everything set up. All you got to do is pick the date and step in the ring. That's all you have to do. I know you won. You've had head troubles in the past. Bro, I have a brain disease, and I'm willing to step in the ring with you. But you're too afraid to do it, which is fine. Everyone knows that you're too afraid to do it. You have to make it public. You have to come on the show. You have to make a public announcement that you are too big of a pussy to face me in the ring. You have the chance. It's here for you. You're still holding on the hope that there are people out there that potentially think that you're tougher than me. And so you're holding, I want those people to know, or I want those people to think I'm still a tough guy. And you know that that will be lost as soon as you step in the ring with me. I won't make you go to the full 12. We'll have a 10-round fight. Boxing, of course, because what are we, animals? Punching people on the ground? Jesus. I've never gotten into a fist fight with my mother's boyfriend's brother. So it's hard for me to want to fight UFC or MMA. But boxing, it's called a science. So, and I am super smart. I'm going off on another fucking tangent. Randy, the offer still stands. The offer's here. If you're too afraid, just say it. That's all you have to do. Publicly say it. Or if you want to show everybody how tough you really are, here's your chance, bud. We're still waiting. There are dozens, if not hundreds. Okay, I won't say hundreds. There are dozens, if not multiple dozens. That almost worked. That are clamoring for this fight. Clamoring for it. And we're all waiting on you. I have figured something out, by the way. You know why they have all these bullshit? Yes, I am changing subjects. Go fuck yourself. Yeah, I'm doing it quickly. Yeah, I'm bad at this. Fuck you. Sorry, I was arguing with myself there a little bit. And explaining to you what was going on. Watching the 24-hour news, and this isn't like a CNN or anything like that, it's ABC News has a 24-hour channel that no one probably knows about. Especially not watching at fucking midnight Pacific time. Because I had to watch the rest of the hockey game. Fuck you. They run out of shit to talk about. They do. And so what happened, and I guarantee you that this is when it started. A 24-hour news channel came on, and all of a sudden, we need to fill another 7 minutes before we cut to national weather. I know, let's make up a bullshit day that this is. This is National Finger Your Neighbor's Wife's Asshole Day. And then you talk about how people celebrate. This is National Kick Your Dog Down the Stairs Day. And if it's a day like that, they can show the protest for it. They can... That's why you have these national days. It's not for any fucking specific reason. It's not... And I talked about it before. The official state flower of so-and-so is being changed from... They only do that. The only reason states do that, or Washington made pickleball the official sport of Washington State. The only reason they did that was because a 24-hour news channel or streaming service needed another story. And they said, hey, Governor Inslee, you know what we're going to do for you? We're going to hide what's really going on with this whole fucking press conference today if you give us something sweet to talk about. Because we don't have anything today. So announce that pickleball is the official sport of the state of Washington. Tomorrow we're good. Tomorrow's National Rotate Your Tires Day. So we're fine there. They're all bullshit. They're all bullshit. And I implore these 24-hour news channels or things, even local news, because they announce this shit too, if it's a slow enough news days. Be better. Be better. The American people, your viewers deserve better. You know why people are running away from you? Because it's the same shit all the time. Be better. Stop with this. Stop telling us what the national day is, or it's... Just stop. More people will come back. And and here's the problem. Old people love that shit. They love it. They love it. And that's who watches the news. That's who still watches the news. Figure out a way to fill out an entire hour of news without being a douchebag. Without somebody sitting there like, ugh, why is this news? Or, ugh, why? Fill it out. There's plenty of shit going on across the country, across the world, really. What, you'd rather point at the new bird of Vermont? Point your cameras at that instead of what's really going on in, I don't know, Beirut or... I'm going to keep talking and I'm just going to make myself sound dumb, so I'm going to end that. But National Days... National Hospital Window Installer Day, those are only there to give news people something to talk about. These don't fucking matter, and let's stop making them matter. So I readjusted my, see, still doesn't fucking work. I readjusted all my, recording shit and everything, so it would be easier for me to, be a little more animated like I tend to be. Hopefully you can hear my animation in my voice inflection. Yeah, like ABC News, they're watching a kid dance going up to play t-ball. That's what the internet's for. That's not fucking news. No one gives a shit. But this is for old people who don't have the internet. Well, they have the internet. They just don't know how to use social media. Yeah, anyway, I tried to adjust everything so I could be more animated and not bump the mic as much, not hit the stand as much and not do all that, but as you could just tell, even me adjusting it, it's not working, so I gotta figure something else out. What I gotta do is figure... Now time for technical stuff. I'm all over the place currently, and we're not even halfway into this, so... I'm going to get back on track here. NHL playoffs. I'm not going to go into specific games or things like that because, honestly, I don't remember which game was going on last time I released an episode. If you did it once a week, you would know what the fuck's... I know, okay? I'm sorry. I'm a lazy piece of shit. I'm sorry. I don't remember which game was the most recent one the last time I talked. So, what I will be doing is just talking in general. TNT is one of the broadcast homes for the NHL playoffs. They have a gentleman by the name of Rick Tocchet, who I should be a fan of. I should like because he is the leader in penalty minutes for the Philadelphia Flyers. I should be a big fan of him. Rick Tocchet is a cunt. He's a cunt. And not the good kind. He's not the good kind of asshole. He's not the fun, oh, you're just an asshole. No, he is a prick. He is a douchebag. Gets every questionable call, he's always on the, not the ref side, which is whatever. But they bring on Don Koharski, a longtime referee. And I know people... You know, I'm very pro-official in every sport. I know that. You know that. So we could just nip that in the bud right now. I know it. You know it. If you've listened to me more than once, you know it. They bring on Don Koharski, which, if you don't know, I believe he's most famous for, I think it was a New Jersey Devil coach who chased him down the locker room, calling him a fat pig. Told him to go eat another donut, you fat pig. Which I thought was funny. It was funny. I cannot find a good headphone volume right now. There we are. They bring him on. He's an awkward douche on TV. That's fine. I probably would be too. I'd probably be a giant dweeb on TV too. But you bring him on there to tell you why something was a penalty or why it wasn't. And the first thing he says is, well, you did a good job protecting the Brotherhood. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Here's the issue. Here's the big issue I have. You can have whatever fucking opinion you want. You can think whatever you want. But to basically call someone a liar to their face or say they are just doing something to toe the company line is a cunt move. Is a douchebag move. You're talking shit to a 30-year vet who multiple playoff appearances, I didn't look it up, but probably worked the finals a few times in his career. I know he worked the playoffs plenty. You're on TNT and they're pretending that you are the coaching expert, that you're the guy who's going to, oh, if I'm coaching this team, here's what I would do. If they have the, I'm the player, or I'm the forward, I'm the defenseman, I'm the goalie. They have all that. And he's the guy who they're bringing on to say, hey, as a coach, here's what I'm looking for. Dude, you made the playoffs once in your entire coaching career. You did it once. Once. How the fuck are you an expert? And that's fine if you can get a job being an expert on shit you don't know about, by all means, jump on that wagon. I'm not gonna stop you. Cash that check, that's fine. But don't tell a guy who was good at their job that they're fucking wrong, or be a cunt about it. Who's the other guy? The guy on the pod, Bissonnette. He is always saying the refs are wrong too, but he's not being a douche about it to the guy's face. So go fuck yourself. Made the playoffs one time. One fucking time. And you're gonna talk to a guy who seen more playoff games than you've ever fucking dreamt of. Oh, by the way, nice old man fake tennis shoes with that suit, you douchebag. Christ. If you're gonna be outside a test, dude, wear better shoes. I know wearing skates fucks up your feet. If you do it a long time, it fucks up your feet. Anson Carter wears the same shoes. He's not being a cocksucker on TV, however, so he can do it. If you're going to be a douchebag, you better not have anything missing on your outfit. If I can point out something, shoes, you look like a douche. If I can point that out, you need to keep your fucking mouth shut or stay behind the desk. Don't be a douchebag. Nice fucking shoes. Oh, and let's talk about all your little gambling jokes on the show. You might want to hold off on those, bud. I believe it was New Jersey had some things to say about how you like to gamble or how you said. You might want to hold off on the gambling jokes. Or don't be an asshole. If you're not an asshole, I don't say anything about the gambling, but you're an asshole and then you're making jokes all through every broadcast. Hey, if you're gambling, you should do this. Or hey, if I was you do a lot of gambling, jackass. You've done quite a bit. The problem with the NHL is that guy's going to get a fucking head coaching job. The NHL, even more than the NFL, is the ultimate fail upwards league. Somehow, coaches who do dog shit at one team, Dave Haxtell, get head coaching jobs somewhere else for no reason other than, hey, they've coached before. It is the ultimate fail upward league. I don't get it. But this jackass is going to get another job, and he's going to miss the playoffs every fucking year that he's there. And who knows, maybe get popped for gambling again. I'm not hoping for it. I'm not asking for it. Just maybe. It just might happen. Fucking Rick Tocchet, go fuck yourself. Whining about a ref getting in the way. The only reason, one of the penalties he was complaining about is like, well, the ref got in the way. You know why the ref got in the way? Because it was a fucking penalty. If the guy doesn't get held, the ref's not in the way there. Dipshit, he had nowhere to go. If he tried to get out of the way, he would have been further in the way, and you'd be whining about that too. Luckily, there was weird calls tonight, but luckily it was on ESPN. Even though their broadcasts are a little worse, you don't deal with that fucker. You don't deal with that fucker. Let's talk about lighter news. COVID. That's right. I would prefer COVID over listening to Rick Tocchet. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, what if you wanted to, what if you wanted to talk about that? You're saying some, bad stuff. Would you say it to his face? Absolutely not. I would never say it to his face. Because I'm a little bitch. And that fucker could kill me easily if he wanted to. Why the fuck would I say it to his face? I'm locked in my office, talking into a fucking computer. I'm safe here. If he came up to me, I'm like, oh, hello, hi, Mr. Tocchet. I love you on TNT and TBS. I love you on your Turner broadcast for hockey. That's what I would say to his face. And if he heard this, I would say, oh, that's just me being silly. That's just satire. I'm sorry about that. And he would punch me in the mouth, and I'd wake up 3 days later. Are you gonna say this? Like, fuck no. It would go the same way as the fight with Randy and I's gonna go. Call back. That's professionalism. So, Natasha Cloud. I didn't know the name off the top of my head. I looked it up just now. Upset that the WNBA players flew commercial and she got COVID. She was upset that during a pandemic they had to fly commercial and she was exposed to the disease. Had to enter COVID protocols. Tough break. But bitch, you don't even earn enough for a bus ticket. You're whining about flying commercial? Honey, your league is in the red every fucking year. You should have to be driving your fucking self with what your league's making. The fact that you fly commercial is a gift from Adam Silver and before that David Stern, because the NBA is paying for you to fly commercial. You want, we had to fly commercial and I got exposed during a paint. Well, you didn't have a 3-day drive. You didn't have to take a bus. Guess what? You would have stopped at a lot more places on a bus. You would have been in contact with a lot more people at gas stations, convenience stores, so that was a weird place to take it, but honey, be grateful for what you have. If an NBA player had that bitch, I would listen to it. Why? Because they make money. Not just for themselves, but for the league, for their teams. Hell, advertising for those airlines makes the airlines money. Christ, LifeLock advertised on one of your jerseys, and I haven't heard a commercial for them in fucking 5 years. Look at how well you did for that fucking company. Honey, Natasha, you don't deserve a commercial flight. The fact that they gave it to you is what you should be focusing on. Be focusing on making yourself a real marketable league. Not, we have to fly commercial and other teams get to fly. No, other teams that make money get to fly private. You're in the red every fucking year. Your entire league has not turned a profit since it started. And you're going to whine that you have to travel? Minor league baseball teams make a profit. And they're riding fucking buses. Minor league hockey teams make a profit. They're riding buses. Get on your fucking plane and shut up about it. I had to go in the COVID protocol because of it. Yeah, you're welcome. It's either you get COVID on a plane or you get fucking toilet seat herpes from a shitty truck stop. Speaking of the WNBA, Russia has announced that they want a prisoner trade for Brittany Griner. If you don't know what happened, she got popped with a bunch of weed oil or some shit. And when she was trying to fly back into America, she got popped with a bunch of it. She's been locked up in Russia because she was playing professionally there. Now Russia wants to do a prisoner trade. They want to trade Brittany Griner for convicted arms dealer. I had the dude's name written down, but I don't think I see it. But convicted arms dealer. Russia, you're seriously overvaluing a WNBA player. You're gonna have to aim a little bit lower. Honestly, I hadn't seen anything about Brittany Griner in the news until this happened. For all I knew, she was back home safe and sound. Russia, you're gonna have to lower your bar, okay? You're not getting a convicted arms dealer for Brittany Griner. No one cares enough. Americans, the public, don't care as much as they do, or they don't care enough about a WNBA player to feel good about letting an arms dealer go back to Russia. They would rather have an arms dealer in jail than a WNBA player back on American soil. In general. You're going to have to look for a Russian citizen who's in jail for, attempted robbery. That America could see that as an even trade. We would do that. Maybe not in a heartbeat. There would be some thought about it. It would depend where they tried to rob. Oh, here we go. Monkeypox is coming out. Guess what? Here comes the argument. They say 6 states. All the states voted blue in the last election. It looks like I just saw the big 3. Anyway, Russia, you gotta set the bar low. Set the bar low. Check fraud. Attempted robbery. Maybe I don't know, maybe a mutual combat battery in a bar. You're not getting a fucking arms dealer for Brittany Griner. It's just not happening. And I know I have at least one listener in Russia, maybe up to 3. I have between 1 and 3 listeners in Russia. So if the 1 or 2 or 3 of you have a line into the state heads of Russia, if you will, just let them know you're not getting an arms dealer. And I'm going to end this real quick because this is kind of again, sorry about the giant bottle opener. I know it was making quite a bit of noise. I'm just going to end this real quick, and I feel bad about saying this. Because what it comes down to is a lot of women's basketball players go play in Russia because they can make more money there. But Russia, over the last few years, it hasn't been a mystery that they aren't our best friends. It seems like there's an inherent risk you take going over there. I'm not saying what's going on with her is right or wrong. It just... Why the fuck are you hanging out with weed oil in Russia when they're in the middle of a fucking war that we're against them? Why the fuck do you even do that? I digress because I'm going to go, look, all I'm going to say is Russia, lower your expectations a little bit. But let's talk some good news. U.S. women's soccer, it happened. They got the equal pay thing going. Good for them. Good for them. They got their equal pay thing. I don't know if it was court or I don't give a shit enough to really look at it. A, it's soccer. B, it's women's soccer. C, so I don't know if it went through the courts. I don't know. Yes, I didn't look into it. Yes, I should have because I'm talking about it on a fucking show that potentially goes worldwide. Another one of those arguments with myself there. Teletubbies are still a fucking thing in Hong Kong? Huh. Anyway, U.S. women's soccer, that equal pay thing went going on. Good for them. I've said it once before, and it bears repeating. I don't mind them getting closer to equal pay to the men, because the average American, and this has nothing to do with the product on the field, of course. If you watch one versus the other, I'm sure you will see that the male game is far superior, as every fucking sport is. Shit, even male gymnastics, they're better at it, they're just not as entertaining. It has nothing to do with the product on the field. There's no reason, if you base it on the product, that they should get paid the same. But I can name more U.S. women's soccer players than I can men's soccer players. And I'm sure the average American could say the same thing. Again, it's not because of how good they are, it's because of them all being uppity cunts. But hey, that works for them. Whatever, it's soccer. You gotta get people to watch somehow. And obviously, being a good soccer player or being a above average soccer player hasn't worked for the men. So, be an asshole and don't do your fucking job and worry more about your fucking wife's logos and then winning the only thing that should fucking matter to you instead of, we have a voice, so we have to. No, you don't. You don't have a voice. The only thing the women's soccer quote-unquote protest did was bring attention that say, hey, these women's soccer players are kind of assholes. No one knows what the fuck they were talking about. But hey, the equal pay thing, they deserve it. And this isn't even me joking. I know more women's soccer players than I do men's. They found a way. Maybe that's what WNBA... Wow. That was almost a word. Maybe that's what the WNBA needs to do. Maybe they just need to stop worrying about the product and just be bigger assholes off the court. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm turning into a one-trick pony. All this women's sports, it just bugs me. Can we stop pretending? Let's just stop pretending. You can't call it the same sport. It's a different sport. That's basically what they need to do, is call women's basketball something else. I don't know. Goofy basket hoops. I don't know what sounds good. But you should probably change that, and then it's like, oh no, men play the baseball and softball. That's not a good analogy either, because no one watches fucking softball. I don't know. I'll figure something out I would say before the decade ends. I'll figure out something for these broads. Now that I'm gonna get off women's sports, because no one else is getting on them. Have you seen the? See if there's a joke that I think is too easy, but I still want to say I do it with that weird voice. So Buick now has Alexa in the car. Alexa can now be in your car. You know, the device that has had nothing but news stories of sending random shit to your house or recording stuff without your knowledge, yeah, we're going to put that in the car. That is the last place you want something like that. The last place. I guarantee you this is the same for everybody. Guarantee it. You think I'm a jackass for what I say on this? On something I put out to the public? You think I'm an asshole on that? Well, you should hear what I say in the privacy of my own home. When no one's listening. When the only people who are listening are people who chose to come over, and you should hear what the fuck I have to say. Which is the same for everybody. You're not going to talk the same way in public as you do at home. Have you ever heard somebody speak in the car? Whew. I tell you, if you listen, I'm a pretty socially liberal guy. In the car, I am the worst person ever. And I'm not, maybe not the worst person ever, because I'm not the worst person that I know. The nicest people in the world, I have heard say shit that would make the devil cringe behind the wheel. And what you're going to do is you're going to put something that records you at all times. They admit to it. They've admitted to it plenty of times, but, well, we're just going to throw this into the car. It's going to get out somehow. I don't know if we've seen it yet, but there's going to be celebrity Alexa leaks for shit they've said. In my personal life, I've seen someone fucked on an Alexa deal, so I'm speaking from experience on that one. It was a very small level, of course. I don't know titans of industry, but I've seen someone who's had a lot of shit, who's had a big upheaval in their life because of something getting caught on Alexa. Imagine, people are getting canceled over Twitter, over podcasts. Imagine if these people heard what was said in the fucking car. But I'm talking to a wall right now. People are loving it. Ford's talking about doing it. Buick's the one that is advertising it right now. Ford's talking about doing something with it. I will tell you right now, the more that Alexa ends up in cars, it's a matter of time before a big name gets in trouble for calling someone a name that they would never say if they were not sitting behind the wheel. I'm trying to warn you all, do not put this dog shit in your car. You're going to. That's fine. In fairness to Alexa, you're sitting there with your iPhone. or your Android, because they're both listening to your shit all the time. They've both admitted to it. You're sitting there with those right next to you, so what the fuck ever, right? So someone's listening to you. Let's just make sure all three companies, right? Let's bring an iPad, let's bring an Android phone, and throw that Alexa in your car, and let them fight over who's going to release the shit to get you in trouble. Man, I have not felt good in this episode. I don't know if you know what that means. It just means there's been no fun topics for me. Everything I've talked about is really fucking annoying me. You notice that? I need to wrap this up soon because I am going nutty. I didn't start this episode with it. I'm going to end with a public service announcement. You're worried about the labor crisis and jobs that they can't fill and all these companies, and I mean, really, it's only service jobs where you get treated like fucking shit. Basically, the less that you have to deal with the general public, from what I see, the more jobs are available. I meant that the opposite way. The more you deal with the general public, the more jobs are available. It's winding down, all right, and I'm getting drunk, all right? I'm sorry. The jobs where people are hiring are the ones where you have to deal with the general public, because the general public are assholes. And too many people stayed home long enough because of the pandemic to say, Jesus Christ, no amount of money is worth dealing with these jackasses, especially not minimum wage. I digress. But if the public wants more employees at restaurants, you gotta stop being cunts. It's not gonna happen, but you gotta stop. The labor crisis. You want to hear a very simple way we can help that? Stop with bullshit job interviews. I've seen no less in the last month 6 different, separate, with different things in them, articles with tricks to nail that interview. Here's the tricks that they're looking for in an interview. 6 different articles with 6 different things that, I got an idea. Let's stop having fucking interviews where you have to have fucking tricks. Why not have an interview where you can walk in and be yourself because you're an asshole? Because no one would want to hire the real you. I get that. But if you want a true employee, if you want to know who the fuck you're hiring, you're not going to know in a 30-minute interview. While you look over a piece of their paper and they have to tell you why they got fired while pretending that they didn't call their boss a cunt. While they didn't sleep on the job, they have to pretend like that's not why they got fired. Have a real conversation with these people. Tricks to interviews. It's fucking human resources is the most worthless job in the fucking world. Maybe not the most, but you have a boss and they have to make sure. Too many fucking people. And answer me this. How many places have you worked or been working at or seen like, how the fuck did they get hired here? You know why? Because they tricked the manager and human resources when they did the interview. Because they read one of these articles, tricks to nail that interview. And you didn't see the real person. I'm not blaming the person who does the tricks. I'm blaming the person who hires based on these tricks. You go and sit down across the table from someone during an interview. They're doing the same fucking song and dance you are. They are leading the dog and pony show that you're performing in. And they know it. They know I'm just interviewing some person and I'm going to have to wait for the 2-week training to really know who the fuck this person is. Then why do the fucking interview? Tricks to landing that job. Tricks to stand out in an interview. You know how you do it? It's like, what's that movie? Shawshank Redemption. Remember when every time he would go up for parole and he would give the, oh yes, I'm totally, and they would deny him, and it took until he went up there and just fucking, Morgan Freeman that is, just fucking spouted off his shit, and then like, oh wow, maybe he is rehabilitated because he talks like a real human being. Let people be real human beings in interviews, and you're gonna get better employees. Let them walk in and tell them right offhand, hey, I'm not doing this normal interview shit. So those 3 Reddit posts that you saw that tells you how to really nail that interview, don't worry about them. Don't worry about them, because that shit ain't happening. Let's just talk. Let's not figure out if this is a right fit for you in 30 days after you make sure to answer every fucking thing correct. Right on the nose. You know why you have no good employees? Because you only hire people that can memorize a 5-question script. If you answer these 5 questions right, you get the job. It doesn't matter what the fucking job is. You answer the same 5 questions right, whether you're working at Burger King or you're working in the Senate. Basically, if you're running for president, it's the same fucking 5 questions, and we're just... I bet there's a lot of people out there who are very qualified for jobs, who are just sitting at home wanting to work, but no one's hiring them because they can't play the stupid fucking game. They can't play the HR game. And you know what, people? Yes, if you're in customer service, yes, if you're... maybe you should have to play a little bit of that game. You should at least have to show that you can. Show that you can, but make sure that the people hiring you and the employees say, hey, show how you would answer this question for this. But then let's talk about... I don't know where I'm going for this. I just saw 3 separate articles on 3 separate websites, all with different content in them, saying how to nail that interview, how to stand out, and they're all different shit. Some of it was even contradictory to the other. You want employees, let's stop the fucking bullshit. First step, all interviews, casual attire. You want to know the real person? Let them show up in shorts, let them show up in jeans and a sweatshirt, and then just have a conversation with them. And then, if you announce that, hey, all the interviews are in casual attire, the people who show up in suits, you know, are the pandering assholes. You know they're the fake ones. We gotta meet people halfway if you want to fill these spots. Okay. That seems like a good enough place to end, right? So, this is my 50-something episode. I appreciate everyone sticking with me. I appreciate everyone who's ordered shit and shared my stuff around. And I think that's all it is. Tell people about it and buy my shit from my store, which is on all my social medias. And a link is in the description of every episode. I made this real fucking simple for you. In the words of Jim Thorpe in Any Given Sunday, we made this real fucking simple. Alright. Since that's all I got, I guess the only thing left to say is I will see you next time.